Yep, so on the left hand side of your screens we have the team of Fraud Esports. We have Bellamorte playing the Illidan, nice and sorted his colours out there. Hal Nguyen on the Rhaegar, El Pedro Parker on the Sylvanas, and down in the bot lane Kiefer's on the ETC, and everyone moving around. Anxiety Lol moving up to the top lane on the Valor.
And for the side of AAF, we have Oramis on the bottom playing on the Cigar, Master Tobacco will be playing on the Jaina, Fate will be playing on the Uther, Phoenix will be on that Diablo, and split in between the top and the middle lane we have Zeki playing on the Vikings.
Now, I'm not sure how I feel about the Vikings splitting up like this. In recent times, we've seen the Vikings just group as three, and we're going to have a quick pause here because Uther Fate has a little bit of sound issues, so needs to relog there. But the Vikings right now, we've seen players like Fred's on Fnatic, Idra on Form EG, Arthalon as well. And KO as a Viking player as well. They kind of play the Vikings as a trio, just lane with them together and then roam when they need to. And then have normal lanes elsewhere. But it looks like what AAF are trying to do here is they're just going to have a solid push in this bot lane. So much wave clear with Zagara and Jaina, and then just let the Vikings play super passive in the other two lanes. But the problem with this is, as we can see in the top lane, it's going to be all little tiny Eric all by himself going up against Vala, Sylvanas and a Rhaegar. So expect this top lane to get pushed in pretty hard.
And when you look at it, it's going to be a lot harder when it comes down to it for the side of AAF. They're going to have to, despite having the Cigar, they'll be able to push down quickly, but when you can have the Sylvana, she puts her passive and they all just group up to where they need to. They start taking down, or she uses her passive, which stops the ammo from shooting out, which will be a lot harder for it to clear the wave. They can probably get it down without any trouble within the first one. They can just sit up there. One Viking isn't going to do too much to them. So they're going to be some really interesting to see who can push this down a lot quicker. As we see, we do have a bit of a roam coming now. The three right here, Mr. Tobacco, Fate, and Phoenix are going to start roaming out a bit. So looking into it, it may not be the best decision on their part when they figure out those are three top.
Yeah, they're going to try and go for what looks to be a three-man roam squad there. Phoenix missing out the charge onto Bellamorte. Oh, we see Fate and Mr. Tobacco now moving around. It seems like now they've realised how Fraud are setting up. They're going to be rotating up there. Eric, of course, really can't do anything here. This has to be at least half of this tower gun, I think. As now Phoenix, Fate gets spotted out. Mr. Tobacco's here too. They're going to go in.
Yep. And that just not really going too well for them at all. They weren't able to get up to the target they wanted to. I think Mr. Tobacco probably ended up taking more damage than anyone else there. And right now, look like, as you said, they want to roam, but they may have to stay. They really can't allow this push, to go uncontested. If it happens, they're going to lose a lot more than they bargained for.
Yeah, as Fate coming around again here. Just scouting out, spots Hal Nguyen. Nguyen sees him as well, but they're just going to walk back and forth between each other. And Eric really not doing much in this top lane. Kind of a loose end up here, just Fate having to use the mana to keep him healed up. Bot lane, however, Kiefer's not having too much trouble down there. Just pushing it out. Illidan having a whale of a time in mid lane, as Illidan does.
I'm really surprised they haven't decided to go ahead and send down Eric. They're actually going to jump on the El Pedro. They're going to almost be able to get it. We do have the Haunting Wave coming up, being able to save the life. No kills are going to come up, but really close on that one.
Yeah, there was a lot of damage traded back onto Tobacco and Phoenix as well there. They both have to tap. Not really worth the engagement there for AAF. Two members of them had to tap. As we now see Valor roaming down to assist Illidan. Zagara is just spreading creep all around this bottom half. Of course, has gone for the Reconstitution talent level 1, and just as AAF were roaming down, it's tribute time in just under 10 seconds.
Looks like Bellamorte almost went into the bush. He's actually going to get spotted out. They're going to jump straight onto him. He's going to have to try to dash out, but it looks like it may not be enough. Hal will be able to get a heal onto him. We do have the healing word go. Nope, it's not going to be enough, as he is going to fall in the end. It will be first blood for the side of AAF. Their kill bush setup almost failing as he almost walked away, but they're able to get the kill and the tribute in the end.
Yeah, but it is in fact Fraud Esports who just about hit level 5 first. ETC was soaking up this mid lane with Valor down bot. They've switched those two up. Of course, Valor has that little bit more wave clear, especially with the multi-shot build we're seeing. Composite arrows into Arsenal. Still pretty standard, even with the removal of battle momentum. The only other change of build path you see is maybe a puncturing arrow in here every now and then.
They almost got the kill on the Eric right there. It wouldn't have mattered that much, but he is solo right now, so it would mean that they would lose a lot of soak if he did die. But actually, the next tribute is going to come up, which will actually save their turrets up in the top here.
Yep, Bellamorte took away this easy camp. We actually saw Fate and Mr. Tobacco go in for their own easy camp, but then the tribute spawned and they had to rethink that one. They're here first, however, they could catch someone off guard, although it's going to be 4 versus 3 to start things off. Phoenix going in.
Yep, they are going to be able to pick up a quick kill on the Bala right there, as Bala just did not have enough of his team or her team around to really help out. But they're going to switch up. They know they really can't contest onto that tribute, so they're going to go straight onto Cigar. They might be able to get the kill in the end. It's actually just not enough, as Cigar barely made it past that wall before they were able to pick up the kill. But that will be 2 tributes to none on the side of AAF.
But again though, El Pedro Parker doing his best to even up the level or at least keep it close. He's got 1 tower in this top lane because of the pushing power that Sylvanas has. Needs to be careful here. Because they're
doing a good job. Yep, just gonna go ahead and back off, not allow. But in the bottom lane, they're actually able to pick up another tower, so that will help them stay on the same side with the experience here. They're gonna go clear out a little bit of the creep, and they're gonna start looking to their bruiser camp, as Illidan is really good at clearing out these mercs.
Yep, anxiety low though. He knows exactly where Uther and co were previously, just hanging around the bottom half of this lane, is able to escape that one. They're going to go for an aggressive roam yet again here, and I actually like this coming out from AAF. CV'd the hard camp, didn't see anything, so they're now going to follow it up. Now you know 2 players are missing as the camp is about to be taken.
Belmorte taking a lot of damage. They're trying to 3v2. They're actually able to pick it up, and with Howard coming in, they're going to be able to secure the kill on the Jaina. Fate, it looks like he might be the next one. He can't really escape. He's going to fall. Phoenix will be the next one. They did have Omnis come up to try to help, but in the end it won't, as he will fall. But they actually might lose this curse to the Vikings. No, El Pedro was able to get there in just enough time.
Yep, as now it's hunting time for Bellamorte. He's going to find Olaf, and they're going to stop getting cursed. This is their first tribute of the game for Fraud Esports. They get a tower off the back of that as well, so just the gate remains down in this bot lane. Eric has been soaking top. We've had Baylog soaking mid, now joined by Jaina, but that invade, they came off a little bit hurt there. They lost 2 players, I think it was there.
Yes.
They were lucky not to lose more.
And just great call. They were using just the raw power of ETC and Illidan right there just to keep them off. They're able to pick up the hard camp, and then with the Hal being able to join them in the end, they were able to start picking up the kills. Fate got a little locked up and a little bit bad positioning, as they were going really aggressive into the side of Fraud Esports. Couldn't really make too much of an escape, and he fell also, which just allowed them to get there in just enough time to stop the tribute being picked up, which means that they didn't get cursed, and right now they are about to reach level 10 while the next tribute spawns.
Yep, and they have it. There's 5 seconds though, but Phoenix trying to go in and get the advantage again here.
Jump on the El Pedro. He's able to use a hunting wave just in enough time, but he has that dot taking onto him. He actually uses his ultimate to help secure the kill onto Jaina, and that's going to be a huge pickup for them right now.
Yeah, Bellamorte just zoning the rest away alongside Kiefer's, and now it's AAF's turn to pick their heroics. Pretty standard, coming out everywhere on the side of Fraud, and the exact same. Uther could of course go Divine Shield or Divine Storm. I know Tempo Storm like running Divine Storm, and most of you take Divine Shield right now, and up against an Illidan, I'm not sure which would be preferable. I feel like with the composition they could get some good Divine Storms into Apocalypse or the other way round off, especially with the Moor in there, but the Divine Shield could be great on Diablo too, but they're going to go for the stun.
Yep. Well, it's actually understandable if they're able to get in there, especially with the APOC in the mall. They can really combo up, and if they do get it correctly, they will just absolutely destroy someone. Looks like Keeper was trying to get onto a couple of the Vikings, you know, just to be a little bit of annoyance, but they're able to jump out of the way. They're going to go ahead and find Eric right there. Belmortis is going to slide right through him, but not going to do too much, as we do have the next tribute spawning, which means that whatever team gets this will be able to get the curse.
Yep, this is the tribute that decides who starts to get the momentum in this game. Phoenix is the first man in.
We do have the Strafe coming out. Two-man ball is going to go. Actually, yeah, two-man ball is going to get picked up right there. Keeper's going to get topped off by the Ancestral Hero. This fight is really back and forth. We see Mr. Topacus taking a lot of damage, trying to get in there, but he actually might fall, trying to go in so hard. Phoenix, really low, is going to be able to survive just for a little bit longer. They are going to be able to pick up one kill on the Janna and a couple of the Vikings right there. But in the end, they're the ones, yeah, they're able to ones to pick up the tribute. So they're able to get the curse. You know, as I said, really back and forth fight right there. They're able to pick up the kill. AAF was able to pick up the kill on the Sylvanas and ETC with only, you know, a couple of the Vikings, all the Vikings falling, but in the end it didn't matter.
Yep, they should at least get one fort from this in the top lane. We have Zagara, Uther and Diablo pushing this one out. They've already got the 2 towers and they're the first team to hit level 12. We could, however, see Fraud maybe try and take their own boss, get some counter pressure going, but Anxiety's just come down here to clear as Hao Nguyen just bypasses the boss as well. Sylvanas and Illidan, there are pings on the siege camp here. They're going to wait on that one as it's a 4-man push in the top lane, about to be joined by 2 Vikings. Eric caught out, so they are going to get a little bit of XP back here, but still nothing too major.
4-man push, they kind of, as you said, they were looking out and they made their way back to this top lane and they didn't want to give up too much. Right now, Sylvanas, you know, coming out excellent with her abilities, so just really able to wave clear so well, just makes it really hard to push too much. During this curse, we do have the boss being started, but it's going to get scouted out there, so they're going to have to back out.
Yep, Kiefer's though, hanging around, still wanting to see if he can find anything. I wouldn't be surprised if we still see Illidan take away the CZ camp. Sylvanas not opted to help with that one. Did get spotted out by the CV of Uther. That's Kiefer's probably just going to go around pushing this top lane. Does have the stage dive should a fight break out. Vikings just poking a little bit, then they're going to jump away.
Yeah. Back for both teams, they're just really showing their strengths right now. That team fight so close. But right now, AAF will have to be careful. They're able to get the first tribute, but as Fraud do have 2 tributes out of the 3. If they're able to win the next team fight, they'll be able to get that curse. And with the push potential that they have right now, it would be really devastating to the side of AAF. So they're going to have to be really careful. They show that they can win the team fights, but they'll have to do it again.
Yep, as AAF take their own easy camp away, it's going to be Fraud who take the hard camp of their own. Kiefer's now rotating down to this bot lane. Signifies that Fraud, they want to push somewhere else. They want to be in the mid lane or the top lane. They have camps in either lane, so Kiefer's going to be essentially a split pusher down there, while the rest of his team apply some pressure. We do have all 5 players here in the mid lane, except for Eric, who's just soaking some XP at the top.
And that region goes actually going to go ahead and show the hand of AAF. But as we see, we do have the ETC split pushing. He does have that stage dive, so he can get in whenever he needs to, which really allows them to stay on top of it. You know, despite one of the Vikings right now farming and soaking the lane, he's actually taking a lot of damage right there. He might fall. Yes, he does fall. But that actually is going to be, you know, it's actually going to help out the side of Fraud. You know, they're not going to have that Viking right there, and they still have the ETC pushing, which means that they'll get the soak from 2 lanes.
Yep, and even so, if Fraud were to engage a fight here, it would only be a 2-man Viking boat. So it wouldn't be the strongest of things. Looking at talents, of course, we can see the amount of creep that the Zagara has been spreading, that she's taken endless creep at the level 7. Mutalisk is a strange one. We don't always see Mutalisk taken at level 13. Talents everywhere else seem pretty standard. We have the Splinter Shot on the Sylvanas, Withering Fire hits the second target doing more damage, but this is what we were waiting for, tribute time. Both teams were playing very passive up until now. We have Eric in the back line grabbing this.
Yep. And it actually looks like, oh, we do have the stage dive. It's going to go ahead and start things off right here. They're going to go straight in there. It's actually missing the maul. It's not going to hit anyone. A lot of the Vikings are falling, and this is just absolutely disastrous for the side of AAF. They weren't able to hit anything right there. All their members are falling. We already have 2 members down, and they're going to lose the tribute.
Yep, and that's the important thing here, the loss of the tribute. We have Phoenix going up to clear this top lane out, but now that they are cursed, they're still going on to Fate here. They will be able to find that kill too. I'm going to grab these 2 towers in the mid lane. I'm surprised we're not seeing maybe an aggressive push for the boss in this top half, and it looks like that's what they're going to go for here. They have pressure in every lane but bot, so this is an understandable move to make for them.
And just that stage dive is really coming out clutch, but in the end, the Maul just missing everyone just gave such a green light for the side of Fraud. They were just like, okay, the Maul missed, we're gonna go straight in there. They're able to get the quick kills on who they needed to. And after that, really lucky for AAF. The Diablo did have his passive, so he was able to come up. But in the end, it just means that they lost Tribute, they lost the Curse, and now just this really big pushing team coming out of the side of Fraud. They're just going straight into all of this.
Yeah, and something to note with that stage dive as well, I believe that Eric could have got a full channel on that curse off, but panicked as soon as he saw the stage dive come in and just clicked away. He didn't want to lose that Viking for the team fight, so he could have held it if he wanted, but Kiefer's there just did enough to make sure they got the curse and won the team fight. They're just ignoring this mid fort now, getting to 2 towers, now going to fall back. They wanted that free XP. Bellamorte on half HP, doesn't matter though, as now they fall back. The boss in the top lane is going on to the keep. It should do a good amount of damage, maybe get it down to just shy of half. We do have all 5 members here clearing this one out.
But now as I see that, we do see Fraud just going ahead and moving down. They have the clairvoyance on top of them, but it doesn't matter. They know where the whole entire side of AAF are. They can go ahead and get this done quickly, and if they need to fight, they'll probably just go ahead and do so.
We have 4 blood for bloods on the side of Fraud. That's a lot of burst, because that's what, 15% of a hero's maximum HP? If they all use it, that's 60%. Then it just insane amount of damage. And of course that target would be so very slow. And that's probably one of the best ways of bursting down a Diablo, stacking blood for bloods on him.
Yeah, Diablo's really gonna have to watch it out now that you pointed out. I hope that the team has communicated to see that, because if they go ahead and they just do that, that Diablo, especially going up against the Dabala and everyone else, will pretty much just have a really bad time. Looks like the kill on the Eric is going to come down once again, but not going to matter too much as he will be up pretty soon. But we do have this boss pushing down, and on the opposite end we have 4 members with the Sylvanas, which means that this keep will actually stop shooting the ammo. It's going to fall quickly, and that's just a lot of more pressure coming out of Fraud.
Yeah, as I expect these 4 members now to grab this last tower and rotate to start taking the mid structures. This boss didn't really do too much, tickled the towers a little bit, but that was all. Hard camp's up in 3 minutes, so that's not on the agenda just yet. But their own one might be. That's up alongside their own siege camp Frauds. So they could just fall back and take these and wait for the next tribute. Tributes right now, anyone's game. We're reset to 0-0. Nothing too much is going to come from them except for maybe the odd team fight.
And speaking of tributes, the next one will be spawning in the next 10 seconds. Each team does have all their ultimates. We do have a little bit of creep spread right here, which is going to be nice for the side of AAF. They're going to have a little bit of scouting coming out. They're actually going to be able to spot keepers coming out of that anyways, but right now we'll have to see how this goes. Whoever can get the better initiation probably will win this fight. Of course, we do have the stage dive coming out of keepers once again. They're going to go straight onto this, but a 2-man Maul is going to come out of the guard this time, which means that there's going to be a lot of pressure going down onto the Fraud team, but the Apex is going to be able to lock them up. They're going to be able to get the first kill on the Sylvanas. How might be the next one to get picked up, as they are going to be able to pick up him, but we are going to have 2 members fall on the side of AAF. It is going to be 3 for 3 right now. Anxiety trying to do his best to go around, but that boat is doing a lot of damage. He is going to go ahead and fall to the Vikings. Will they be able to do anything more? The pop of the jump is going to come out to save Eric just for a little bit longer. Bellamorte is going to do his best to take down Phoenix. He will, but he will fall in the process. It will be a 4 for 3 in the favor of AF.
Yeah, it's just Kiefer's left alive here. He doesn't have too much on him. No stage dive. He does have all of his other skills up, but even so, going into that one is a little bit risky. Just going to fall back to this bot lane, clear this one out, and pretty good fight there for AAF. They traded 4 for 3, and they kept all the Vikings alive. Vikings did a great job there in the longbow. In fact, let's take a quick look at the damage tab. Valor leading the way on siege and hero damage for the side of Fraud. The Vikings, though, only 16k. It's Zagara that's been doing a lot of hero damage. In fact, it's she who has the most in the game now, 2k ahead of Valor. That's an interesting one.
Yep. So, actually looking at this, we do have level 20 has been picked up for the side of Fraud, so they are going to have a little bit of an advantage for this next tribute fight. We do have 3 Bolt of the Storms coming out. We do have the Demonic Form coming out for Illidan also, and the Storm Shield, which will be really nice, especially with all the AoE that comes out of the side of AAF.
Yep, of course, the Jaina, the Zagara, the Vikings, so it's just so much AoE coming out, and that Storm Shield is going to protect the team for a pretty good amount of damage. As we see how Nguyen pick up the tribute in that top lane. Bellamorte going towards their own hard camp, but the boss on the red side of the map is up in 15 seconds, but we're seeing a potential invade here from Fate, Phoenix, and Aromis again here, and they're going to go for it. Have they not learned their lesson?
Looks like, oh, they're actually almost popped it, but man, Mortis is coming out just enough time. But Mortis actually getting healed up, and he's going to go ahead and they're going to have a lot of damage coming out here. We do have a two-man ball coming in, but it doesn't matter. As two members are already fallen on the side of AAF. Fate really, really low. It's going to get chased off by Keepers. They've actually picked up all the Vikings, and there's only one member left on the side of AAF.
And to answer my own question, no, they haven't learnt their lesson there. Lost 3 members, didn't get a single one. Yes, they got the hard cam, but what exactly is that doing? It's got 3 of them left here. Using a little bit of ammo, it's not going to get any XP as now. Fraud, they could look to end this in all seriousness. 30-second death time as they've got 2 catapults and 2 siege giants in this top lane. They're going to add to that top lane by grabbing this boss. Of course, it will push and could in fact go to the core. Probably send one member to grab this tribute as well. But even so, really, really big swing there in the favour of Fraud.
It's really interesting. They, when you play this game, you play against Illidan. He's, one of the slipperiest characters. He has that metamorphosis. He has the first aid, and on top of that, the blood for blood. He used all of those. He was able to survive, which means that his team was able to follow in, and it just was really, interesting that they decided to once again go ahead and try to steal that out just for a hard camp. But as we see, a little bit of a fight is starting here onto the core. Belmortis taking a lot of damage. Just going to go ahead and reuse that metamorphosis to help him out. He will have the ancestral heal on top of him. They're able to actually almost get a kill on Phoenix, but it'll be actually a couple of the Vikings who will fall first along with the core. So congratulations to Fraud for taking this game.
Yeah, you have to say though, well done for AAF. They had a really good early and mid game, kept in it. Especially their early game looked a little bit stronger than Fraud eSports there. But as you said, congratulations to Keefers and Co, as I also like to call them. So I guess we're going to take a quick break. We will, however, continue on with Fraud eSports playing up against Murloc Geniuses in the next round, which is Faye, Idra, ZPs, and so on. Basically the Form Regi side, which should be a pretty good game.